We live in an age of miracles. Robots on Mars, supercomputers in our pockets, instant global communication. Yet with all this progress, one question lingers. Why haven't we cured cancer? Why is Alzheimer's still a one-way street? Billions are poured into research. We run marathons, wear ribbons, donate with hope, but the finish line for a cure keeps moving. Is complexity the only reason? Or is there a more uncomfortable truth, one tied to money, not science? This isn't just about one disease, it's a pattern, a system built on unsettling logic. What if the reason we don't have cures isn't impossibility, but that a patient cured is a customer lost? The health of humanity might depend on asking this question. Let's look behind the curtain. Sickness is an industry. Massive, sprawling, and incredibly profitable. Imagine a business where customers need your product every day, just to stay alive. That's the reality of chronic disease treatment. Diabetes is a prime example. Insulin turned a death sentence into a manageable condition, but a century later, the business is in selling insulin, not curing diabetes. The price of insulin has soared, not because it's costly to make, but because people will pay anything to live. A cure would be a humanitarian triumph, and a financial disaster for those profiting from management. This model repeats high cholesterol, blood pressure, autoimmune disorders. The focus is on symptom management, not elimination. These are forever pills, tiny recurring transactions, a steady revenue stream. A cure is a one-time event. From a business perspective, it's far less attractive. Medicine is a noble calling for many, but the system is a marketplace, not a charity. The goal isn't to solve the problem permanently, but to keep the customer coming back. When the problem is life-threatening, the stakes and profits are enormous. Sickness has become a sustainable long-term business. The system is designed to manage, not cure. We need to ask, who really benefits from this model? The answer isn't comforting. The business of sickness thrives on our need for hope and our dependence on treatment. The finish line for a cure keeps moving, but the profits never stop. This is the uncomfortable truth behind the industry, and it's time we faced it. Imagine you own an umbrella company. Your business thrives on rainy days. Now what if someone invented a device that stopped rain forever? For the public, it's a miracle. For your business, it's the end. This is the logic at the heart of the pharmaceutical industry. A company might spend billions developing a drug that manages cancer, keeping patients alive but dependent for years. Each patient is worth hundreds of thousands over time. Multiply that by millions, and the numbers are staggering. The company enjoys a reliable, long-term revenue stream. Now imagine a researcher discovers a true cure, a single injection that eradicates cancer. From a human perspective, it's the greatest achievement. From a business perspective, it's a catastrophe. The revenue stream vanishes, the market disappears, the golden goose is gone. Why would a company invest in research that could destroy its most profitable division? The conflict of interest is staggering. The goal shifts from how do we cure this to how do we treat this for the longest time. Research is guided toward management, not cures. The sunny day is kept at bay because selling umbrellas is just too good. This isn't a conspiracy, it's the logic of profit. The system rewards treatment, not solutions. The incentive to cure is buried under mountains of money, and so the cycle continues. The business of sickness thrives, while cures remain elusive. History is full of brilliant minds silenced for being ahead of their time. Medicine is no different. Researchers claiming breakthroughs often see their work mysteriously halted. Funding dries up, papers are rejected, reputations attacked. Take Dr. Raymond Rife in the 1930s. He claimed to see living viruses and destroy them with light frequencies, reporting success in treating cancer. His lab was burned down, partners intimidated, and he was labeled a fraud. Or Dr. Stanislaw Burzynski, who developed anti-neoplastons for brain cancer. For decades, authorities tried to shut him down, while patients credited him with saving their lives. The official narrative dismisses these stories as unproven or false hope. But the pattern is disturbing. Announce a potential cure, especially one that's cheap or unpatentable, and the system comes crashing down. Funding is cut, legal harassment begins, and professional ostracism follows. Is it bad science, or does it threaten a multi-billion-dollar industry? The system protects its profits fiercely. Breakthroughs that can't be patented or monetized are often buried. The stories are complex, but the pattern is clear. The silencing of innovators isn't just history, it's happening now. The question isn't just about science, but about power and profit. How many cures have been lost to this system, and how many more will be? To understand why some cures never see the light of day, follow the money. Big Pharma is one of the world's most powerful lobbying forces, spending hundreds of millions to influence politicians and agencies. This money isn't charity, it's to protect profits. Lobbying shapes the rules for drug testing, approval, and sales. Patent protections are extended, keeping prices high and competition out. The system favors expensive, long-term treatments over cheap, one-time cures. The influence reaches the FDA with a revolving door between regulators and industry. Officials approving drugs often take high-paying jobs at the companies they once regulated. This creates massive conflicts of interest. Pharmaceutical money also flows into medical schools, hospitals, and research. Doctors may be more likely to prescribe drugs from companies that pay them. Research is often designed to favor sponsors' products. The entire medical ecosystem is financially entangled with the industry. Discoveries that threaten the status quo rarely get a fair hearing. The system is built to protect profit, not necessarily public health. Watch TV commercials. Most are for drugs that manage chronic conditions, not cure them. The language is careful. Manage symptoms. Reduce flare-ups. Live with your condition. The goal isn't to end disease, but to make it manageable for life with their product. This is a deliberate business strategy. Pharmaceutical R&D is skewed toward maintenance drugs, guaranteed income. A cure is a self-eliminating product. A maintenance drug is a financial annuity. Developing a new drug costs billions. Companies want the biggest return. Managing common conditions for millions is safer than gambling on a one-time cure. The market logic creates customers for life, not cures. The definition of a successful drug is one that generates long-term revenue. We see innovation in management, but little in cures. These drugs are feats of engineering, but they engineer perpetual treatment. The system creates a permanent class of the chronically ill. Their condition becomes a reliable, profitable asset. Imagine you're the CEO of a pharmaceutical giant. Your company spends billions developing a drug that manages cancer, bringing in massive revenue. Then a scientist finds a true cure, a cheap one-time injection. It would save millions but make your blockbuster drug worthless. Your stock would plummet, jobs lost, investments wiped out. You hold a miracle in one hand, financial ruin in the other. What do? This isn't just hypothetical, it's a real moral dilemma in for-profit healthcare. Do you release the cure and risk destroying your company, or bury it to protect profits? The pressure to choose profit over people is immense. Corporate law demands loyalty to shareholders, not the public good. Doing the right thing for humanity could be wrong for business. The chilling possibility: a cure could be locked away, sacrificed for a balance sheet. The system makes this choice almost inevitable, and the world pays the price. We're told we're on the verge of breakthroughs. Headlines trumpet new studies, tech billionaires promise AI will cure all disease. These announcements spark hope and donations, making us feel progress is near. But how much is real, and how much is PR? Most breakthroughs never reach patients. AI can't replace the slow, painstaking work of trials and approval. The hype creates an illusion of progress, distracting us from present problems. It's easier to hope for a future cure than to question today's drug prices. The narrative of "we're almost there" comforts us, but stops us from asking hard questions. The idea of a single cure for cancer is a misunderstanding. Cancer is hundreds of diseases. This complexity is real, but also a convenient shield. It lets the industry deflect criticism, saying the problem is just too hard. The focus stays on profitable treatments, not definitive cures. The illusion keeps us waiting, while the system profits and the cycle continues. The tension between public health and private profit is at a breaking point. On one side, patients and families who see medicine as a human right, trusting the system to help them. On the other, corporations legally bound to prioritize profit, seeing disease as a market and patients as revenue. A cure is a threat to income, not a goal. This side has the money and power to shape the rules. It funds research, silences dissent, and ensures the most profitable products reach the market. Public distrust grows as drug prices soar and promising treatments are buried. This distrust fuels misinformation and skepticism. The battle is for the soul of medicine: serve humanity or serve shareholders. The system claims what's good for Big Pharma is good for all, but the evidence says otherwise. Soaring costs, focus on management, silenced innovators, these are the symptoms. The financial health of corporations is often placed ahead of human health, and the public is starting to notice. We've seen how profit shapes a system that favors treatment over cures. Silent scientists, powerful lobbying, and moral dilemmas all point to a troubling diagnosis. The reason we haven't cured our worst diseases may not be scientific failure but business success. We've built a world where it's more profitable not to cure. The logic of the marketplace leads to managed illness, not vibrant health. The incentive is to keep selling umbrellas, not wish for sunny days. Most doctors and researchers are good people, but they're cogs in a profit-driven machine. That machine is programmed to maximize profit, not health. It dictates research, drug development, and who gets treated. The system has lost its way. We face a choice: accept the narrative and wait for breakthroughs, or demand a system where health, not wealth, is the goal. We must demand cures, not just management, because as long as sickness is profitable, we'll never run out of sick people.